Hello, everyone. How's everybody doing? It's Friday, September 27th, 7:43 p.m. Welcome to Loud and Proud Orlando City Pod. Thank you to everybody that is live with me. I know that it's not probably your usual time to see our program on a Friday night, but yesterday, because of the hurricane, we didn't know. I had no power, so for a couple of hours, so I wasn't able to make it. And I think John and Paola, we decided just to it was just going to be better to give it a day of rest and then come on today. But today I'm solo, but with a lot of hope, no pun intended, to talk about the Orlando City game against FC Dallas, a must-win game on the road, and it's going to definitely help the team, hopefully, to clinch playoffs. Right. So we'll be talking about. We're going to preview Dallas. We're going to talk about what are we expecting from Dallas. Also, we're going to be talking about some of our momentum, some of the momentum of the Lions, how they're doing. They're already on the way to Dallas or in Dallas right now as we speak. We're also going to be talking about our clinch playoffs scenarios, and then we'll take all your comments and all your questions. So stick around. Thank you so much for being live with me. And if you're listening, thank you so much for your support. We are Louder and Proud Orlando. Thank you so much again. And you can find us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, as well as we are live on X, Instagram, and on YouTube. So thank you so much to everybody that's watching. Okay, so for starters, we're going to be facing Dallas. It's going to be literally Oscar Pereja coming back to his former club, a club that he definitely built. He built part of their academy, Luis Musi as well. He knows very well of this team, but it's a team that it's not doing so hot in the West, right? Again, I do want to say it's a tough team. It's a very physical team, and it's a team that's definitely coming for the 3 points. They're playing at home, and Orlando needs to definitely do not overlook. There's a lot of talk, and we'll do the lineup that later on as well. There's a lot of talk about should Orlando play with Duncan? Should Orlando play with Ramiro? Should Orlando play with two strikers? We'll discuss all of that as well. So thank you so much for your support. So how is this FC Dallas coming? They're coming with a lot of momentum, you would say. Not so much, not so hot as you would expect. But again, it's not to be overlooked. They just lost against LAFC, and, they are right now in the West, they're 10th. So they're one of the bottom teams in the West. So this should be a team that Orlando should definitely capitalize on and definitely clinch playoffs. So here's the Western Conference table right here. You guys can see. Now here are the matches. 3-1. Actually, no. They did beat at LAFC. Sorry, my apologies. But they lost against Real Salt Lake. So they come actually with a lot of momentum, beating one of the league's darlings. So now there's a player that we all know that's going to be played in Dallas, which is Ruan, and Ruan is being part of their starting squad. As you could see here, he's playing as a right winger. Well, kind of like a fullback, a fullback, full on fullback on the right, and the one on the left is Paul Arriola. So I mean, again, the Lions need to make sure that defensively they need to be sound because, as I say, in order to make a deep playoff run, Orlando City needs by all means to defend much better. Orlando City scored 3 goals last Saturday against Columbus. So, but they gave away 4, so we do want to kind of understand that it was not a good night by Dagerdan Thorhalson. It was not a good night by maybe Rafa Santos. And when you face players like Paul Arriola, players like Ruan, speed speed is the pretty much their 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 beacon of or their talent mainly. It could definitely cost us if we're not on point. So um, honestly, you know, they played Orlando played against Columbus, and they're the to me the best team in the MLS. Again, in their home stadium, it was tough conditions, but it could have gone a different way. There was high expectation for to throw this game away against Columbus, but what I take is that defensively we certainly needed to do much better. Now, let's I'm gonna go ahead and talk about why is possession important and why keeping the ball and keeping the possession and keeping the intensity so vital. It's because when we turn over the ball against a team that in transition is quite dangerous with players like Ariola, Ruan, they also have a squad that in the attacking third could definitely challenge you. Orlando's going to could have a bad day in the office. And again, Velasco, Ferreira, and Musa are not to be taken lightly. Same with Ilarramendi, Paul Arriola, and Ruan. So, now, can the Lions capitalize with their back line? 110%. Now, one thing about their back line is that they're very physical players. So, still, Orlando needs to stay compact, needs to press and continue that press throughout 90 minutes. So defending, it is a must. But let's see. I want to say hello to Danny Man 373 on Instagram. Thank you so much for joining.
101's Instagram is 101.official.
Alexa, stop.
By the way, you have 2 new notifications.
Alexa, stop.
Do you want to hear them?
No, Alexa, stop. I'm live. Oh man. But anyways, let's focus on Orlando because Orlando, it's what we need to honestly be focusing on the most, and then we'll dive into Dallas in just a moment. To me, defense is what wins games, and I think that if Orlando hones in and has a great night defensively, the attack could definitely just come by all these transitions that Oscar is practicing on practice, and let's start with Duncan McGuire, because Duncan McGuire and this whole debate about who's going to be starting for the Lions, or maybe Duncan McGuire and Ramiro Enrique, or is it going to be Muriel since he's hot, put him in the starting lineup. Orlando City literally has 2 strikers available. It's either Duncan or Ramiro. Now you have to understand Muriel, I don't consider him a striker. He plays as a 10, and and he's come on very strong. He scored a brace against the Crew, and it is to me very effective, and he did it very effectively. But consistency throughout this year, to be completely honest, it's not been his strong suit. So I would say honestly that keep the same lineup. That would be, and that's probably what Oscar is going to do. And we'll dive in the lineup. McGuire, number one, he's definitely hot. He got the last start against Columbus, and he was held in by the center backs. He only had, I think, 11 touches throughout the entire game. So I wouldn't say it wasn't a great night from McGuire. I just say that against center backs that are going to challenge you, or against defensive mids that are going to be challenging. And again, we're going to be facing Columbus, Cincinnati. Orlando's going to be facing Columbus, Cincinnati, and Inter Miami in the playoffs, whether we like it or not. one of them or two of them we're definitely gonna face. Those are the hurdles that he's gonna have to overcome, against inferior competition, and not to call all the other teams inferior, but against the inferior competition and inferior center backs. Maguire has excelled, and not only he's a very he goes very well into Oscar's system, because he's an attack and defend type of striker. He's not just a striker that stays in the box like maybe Ercan Kara, but he's able to also defend and recoup the ball and go in transition. So Maguire wasn't so hot against Columbus. Now, FC Dallas, nowhere near Columbus Crew. So giving the technical ability of those center backs, Columbus thrived because they're better center backs. But, and again, I want to be completely, I want to be I'm being myself right now, having this open floor pretty much here right now. Omar Gonzalez, Marco Farfan, and the other dude, Sebastian Ibagugu, or whatever his name is, they are not. He should be able to match up and do a jab and a cross to them and easily penetrate the defense. I mean, it's I think the only thing I would say that goes against Maguire is it's the height, because they are taller, a little taller than him, but Maguire, technically, with his ability and his speed and his nose for goal, he's able not to be just pushed around, because he's a very physical player. He even said it in an interview that we had here. So I feel that Maguire for the first half would be definitely important. Now, the height again, and that's going to affect us in set pieces. And I'm sure Coach Martin Perelman already knows this. So we may see, maybe shooting from distance, like Cartagena's tried to attempt a couple of times, or maybe like even Facu. So, but, when it comes to corner kicks, free kicks, those three that are taller than our strikers are definitely going to be the ones trying to get the ball out. Now, if there's a scramble in the box and it's Omar Gonzalez going with Duncan, I guarantee you 9 out of 10, I know Duncan could beat him 110%. Now, let's talk about another striker of ours, Ramiro Enrique. Now, Enrique came off the bench for Duncan, and it was a spark. I mean, it was just a complete, immediate comeback for the Lions in this game against the Crew. He's a natural poacher, and he's the type of player that puts himself in the right moment, in the right position. Very, very savvy in the 1v1, and even has the drive to play physical. And if he has to, maybe not get a header, but he hits the ball with his face, he's gonna risk it all and just throw himself out there to score. So he has that determination. He has improved tremendously since he first arrived, and definitely Maguire, because he was coming hot. Oscar thought, I think Duncan's going to do better against the Crew. I think that decision to put Duncan first and then Ramiro, it made a lot of sense. And I think that that's the virtue of the versatility of both strikers that Orlando has, and both are very determined and driven to score goals. So the whole point is the competition. Who are they going to face? It's hard to put them against Columbus because Columbus has such talent, but they definitely withstood a lot of pressure, especially Ramiro on that comeback. So he's definitely making a name of possibly starting. Now he hasn't scored in a while. Well, he scored against Columbus, but before that he didn't score for a while. So he's been a little bit of a drought. But again, that goal, even though at first it might have not meant anything, and he just picked up the ball and run with it, surely it sparked the team. And I think I like when Ramiro comes in and it's just got boom, an immediate impact, an immediate uppercut punch, and against any team, And then he's not a striker. He came as a striker. He came with a lot of press and a lot of momentum into the league. Luis Muriel, and his latest words, post press conference words, have made it to South America, to Colombia. Actually, I had a lot of Colombian colleagues reposting that video, and I know a lot of fans probably and still do to this day believe that what the hell is the front office doing with the signing of Muriel. Clearly, Muriel, what was expected of Muriel was to see that Atalanta Muriel, right? But already, if you follow the Serie A, you already knew that he wasn't really playing up to his full potential while in Italy for at least a season before coming into Orlando. But again, there's this there's this word around the MLS that there's 50% of people call it a very competitive league. I am in one of them as a journalist. And then there's other people all over the world that call it, hey, this is a retirement league. This is a retirement league. This is a team in which the level of soccer, it's not up to par, and they draw conclusions from watching, games from like 10 years ago. But truth of the matter is, MLS right now, it's one of the most physical leagues. You got to be not only traveling a lot, constantly, and I think Giroud actually said it in one of the interviews for one of the pundits for MLS, and not only that it's draining in itself, but also the climates and the pitches, and playing in New York one night and then going to Orlando in the heat and the humidity. So there's a lot of adaptation. Now, Muriel said that he's still getting the feel for the league, and he got the feel for the league, and it took longer than he expected. And honestly, everyone in Orlando already gave up on Muriel. And but you started seeing in the past few games with the Lions, at least for me, I could only speak for myself actually, that things are starting to click a little better for him. So, he earned a brace against the Crew. He should have really gotten an assist for Enrique's goal. And, also Muriel set up Duncan for that goal to kind of seal the deal against Charlotte. So he's been already up in his game a little bit. Now, he's not actually playing as a striker, he's playing as a 10. And now, a lot of people say, does he need to start against Dallas? Now, personally, Martin Ojeda has been hot too, but he's a different type of player. Now, I believe because of the physicality of Dallas, I believe that, I like to see him come off the bench. Personally, at least Muriel, I like to see him come off the bench until maybe the end of the year when, he maybe goes and gets physically ready for the next season. Because obviously right now, everyone knows, he's adapting and he's getting physically fit, and he looks better than when he first came in, but it's a process. It's not night and day. So he's getting comfortable playing with the team. He's making strides, I believe, to ease him into playing Dallas in a pivotal game that's going to clinch playoffs. I would like to see him as a 1-2 punch in the second half. I don't know if Pareja is going to go for the hot foot. You know what I mean? I don't know if he's going to occupy or take the spot out of Martin Ojeda or Facundo Torres, but Muriel definitely has stepped the level. Now, is he the Muriel the fans thought was going to come to Orlando? Of course not. And I still believe that there was a lot of high expectation. Some definitely, I wouldn't say unfounded. I'd say very with a lot of credible expectation because of the type of player that he is. So, but it didn't pan out the way it didn't pan out the way it was. But now you see an improvement, and I think everyone needs to realize that. So let's read some comments real quick. Let's see if there's any comments here. About 13 people live. Thank you so much. It says, are the rumors of Orlando City hosting a World Cup game? Lewis, give us the latest developments. Imagine a Peru game at Interco. No. So there is a World Cup. There is a World Cup coming to Orlando. There is a World Cup coming to Orlando. It's not the World Cup that we know. It's the Club World Cup, the new format. It's coming. Yeah, Interco is going to have that game. The game has not yet been. We yet don't know what exact game they're going to have, but that was something that I was going to touch later on. But I can talk about it right now. Actually, let me go ahead and pull it up. I want to give credit to U.S. men's national team only. That's where I got it from. So FIFA is reportedly set to announce later this month these stadiums that will host the 2025 FIFA Club World Cup, per The Guardian. Rose Bowl, Pasadena, which I had the pleasure to go in there to see Peru and Mexico play and cover the Peruvian national team. Lumen Field, which is a beautiful stadium right in Seattle, the home of the Sounders. Mercedes-Benz Stadium, which apparently they give the best food for the press. I don't know. That's what a colleague told me. I don't know. I've never been there, but it's right here, right up north. And then obviously home, Interco Stadium, which I think the best people running this stadium, and I think Orlando is a soccer city, and it just makes a lot of sense. Hard Rock Stadium, because it's Hard Rock Stadium, it's Miami, it's Messi plays there and all that good stuff. And they gotta, one thing about FIFA is they want to capitalize. You're talking about tickets being sold for $200 a piece, full sold out stadium, over 70,000 people that you can put at a Hard Rock. I mean, that's money right there. That's why all these events are going to happen in the United States more than anything. Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia, MetLife Stadium, and Red Bull Arena. So, yeah. So the Club World Cup. So we're going to be seeing, one of the Club World Cup, matches at Interco Stadium. It's going to be massive. It's going to bring a lot of tourism. Orlando already it's known for that. And yeah, we should definitely feel very proud that that we're getting Orlando's getting such exposure and a lot of big events, right? So yeah, that was that. I want to give also a hello to Senor Macaco right there for in Instagram, and Peña Blaugrana de Lima, to my friends, my friends FC Barcelona fans. Thank you so much. So again, there's going to be some changes, just kind of with breaking news about Dallas. They're going to be without one of their key players. One of their key players is not going to be available. Former Real Madrid, which is kind of funny to say, but whatever. This player right here, Asier Ilarramendi, former Real Sociedad player as well. He's actually not going to play against the Lions. I do want to say he's not going to play against the Lions due to yellow card accumulation. So he's out due to yellow card suspension. So this dude's been a key player for them. So also Liam Frazier, he's definitely on the season injury list for Dallas. So there's a lot. They're not. I mean, they don't have a lot of injured players, but definitely not having Ilarramendi is going to be a big blow for them because he's been in the last few games so pivotal. So, it's going to be interesting to see, what they're going to be doing now. Also, they're going to probably be doing a 5-3-2 formation. 5-3-2 formation. That's what's being rumored right now for Dallas. And again, Jesus Ferreira is going to be a huge part of their attack. Now he's not as hot as maybe Duncan right now, or maybe as Ramiro Enrique, but it's definitely a player that is a U.S. men's national team player, and I think any team in the MLS will love to have him at some point in there, for sure. So, we're going to face Ruan as well, and I guarantee you Ruan is going to be part of their starting lineup too. So, the Dallas' season, it's been up and down. They've played some really good games. They've shown a lot of bright moments against really tough teams like LAFC, for example, against Real Salt Lake as well, which are a top contender in the West. Scoring a couple goals on them and things like that. 3-2, at the death, losing to Salt Lake. Against Colorado as well, pretty, so, but they also have had, they're a very inconsistent team, so also this is a team that was beaten in the Leagues Cup too by Juarez, which is one of the worst Liga MX teams. So, I mean, talk about that. So, I mean, this is something that it's gonna be a game that Orlando can capitalize on 110%. So, now, how are the Lions gonna play, or how are the Lions? What are some things that Orlando maybe can do to definitely win this game? Let's go ahead and do the lineup real quick, and I'll explain a little better. And again, drop us your comment, subscribe to the channel. We're Loud and Proud Orlando. Thank you so much for your support. Let me pull it out right here. Oh no, what am I doing? Right here, United States. Let's look for Orlando City. Now we're gonna be playing with the red kid too, so it's gonna be interesting. So clearly Galese, Pedro Galese, up top, for sure. And we're gonna have Rodrigo, and we're gonna have Jensen. This is not gonna change. And we have here Santos, and we have Daggerden Thorhalsen. Now, we're gonna have Cesar Araujo back. So Araujo, Cartagena. And then here we're gonna see. Look, I know people want to see Muriel, and I know he has the hot foot, but you all know, Oscar has. I think he wants to clinch playoffs, so he's gonna go with the team that he knows it's gonna be able to withstand Dallas's pressure and also the front three for Dallas. and I believe this is going to be the lineup. I don't really see. I see Muriel coming in on the bench, but I don't see him essentially doing two strikers, or he's going to keep it the same. Now we're going to have Martin Ojeda right here as your 10, and then we have Angulo. We have Facu, and we're gonna have, and again, it's look, it's I understand maybe not a lot of people would agree with me, and that's okay. You know, I'm not looking here for I'm not looking to convert any people or anything like that. I'm just speaking my mind. I feel that for this game, because of the competition that they're going to have, despite this back of three center backs that they're going to put on here, because they're going to do a line of three in the box. I believe it's going to be Duncan McGuire, and it's just his physicality. He also has the ability of threading back and defending. I just think as a player that I think Duncan is going to be the one, and more than likely we're going to see Ramiro and Muriel coming in with Nico to be that to be those powerful subs that are coming in and making a huge impact. Now, with that being said, Dagerden, we have Galese up top, Dagerden, Rodrigo, Jensen Santos, Araujo, Cartagena, Ojeda. Then you have Angulo on your left, Facundo on your right, Facu Torres, and then up top, Duncan McGuire. Let's do some comments. Let's see. Key player or not, them Jungle Boys different. Texans beware, we do bite. There you go. Thank you. Appreciate that stream, Jesus. So about 20 people live. Thank you so much. What are some things that we need to improve? I would like to say the speed of our center backs. but obviously that's impossible lately, and this is just the way I perceive it. I don't know if you guys believe the same way, and again, drop us your comment if you don't feel the same way, or if you do feel the same way. I feel like when Santos goes forward, he leaves a dreaded space here. He's been great in some games coming back into position and mark, but still leaves a big gap there, forcing Jensen to cover him, but also not forgetting about where he's at. And that double duty has caused them for Jensen to become slower, especially when the rival team attacks. Now, again, Jensen's been a phenomenal center back for the Lions. He's the captain. I'm not trying to downplay him whatsoever. He's actually even doing a clinic to play soccer. So, you know, and his life story is amazing. I was actually checking out some videos of those videos that he put out in his Instagram. So going from 5th division in Sweden to going to play, be the captain of Orlando City, it's pretty a big leap. So, but again, as I already mentioned, Orlando is a team that signs low cost, high reward players. They're not the type of team that's going to sign a Neymar and pairing up with, that's not the model that we are. We depend a lot of our youth, even though right now I'm going to talk about the youth a little bit, but Jensen, it's been a huge part of the team. He's still a huge part of the team, but I feel like our backs are really not helping the situation sometimes because of inconsistencies. Same with Dagger and Rodrigo. Is exactly the same thing. And now I'm not trying to excuse them. I'm just trying to see what I perceive. When Araujo wasn't here and it was Kochevsky, and I'm going to put right here, when it was Kochevsky, if you guys are looking now, if you are listening, you may want to, for this part, go to our YouTube channel. But pretty much I'm kind of moving the pieces around here on the board. So when Kuchevsky was here, Dagger will go forward, right? And again, Rodrigo had to, be right behind him. But Kuchevsky, typically, what if you've seen Araujo, what he would do is he would go here, or he would stand like right here with Rodri, and in a way, he was like another back, and that's something that Dagger, when he cuts through the middle or tries to go more on the offense, with again, with elevated competition, with players that are going to definitely, they're better physically and they're coming with high momentum, like a Cucho Hernandez, for example, you're gonna pay, leaving those gaps, and especially if there's no one behind you. So, and again, Dagger has had, I believe, a very positive season so far. I'm not trying to downplay him at all, but there is inconsistencies with both our backs, And talking about that, I do want to say there are backs at OCB that can definitely, if given a chance, could definitely, and this is something that I am no one to, I'm just speaking my mind here. For example, Alex Freeman. Alex Freeman right now, he's being picked one of the best players in the MLS Next Pro, I believe. So Alex Freeman, man, I mean, he's having a phenomenal season for Orlando CDB, and he could definitely easily be East End to the first team. And I believe that you need to, I think this needs to happen. It's something that he was named MLS Next Pro Player of the Match Week. You know what I mean? So let me share this video right here, right? Let me share this Twitter. Now I don't know these people, but I saw this today, and I thought, hey, America's ultras talk, ultras, drinking beer, skin hat, American ultras. And it says, stop me if you heard this before. Alex Freeman, 2 assists tonight, and another man of the match performance for Orlando CDB. That's 7 goals and 9 assists this season from a ride back in the MLS Next Pro. What does he have to do to Orlando? To go to Orlando, to the first team. And I completely agree, man. And same with Fabian Loyola, and scoring as well. So we got to start seeing those players. They cannot just be MLS Next Pro players. And again, I know I am no one to say this, but I do speak my mind in this regard. I feel like he'll be you got to give this kid a chance. I mean, he's killing it in the reserves. And, maybe Pareja feels, and again, I may be incorrect here, maybe he feels that he wants to maybe clinch first, and then, I don't know. But I guess, to me, by the way the standings are, and again, I'm going to look at the standings right now. By the way the standings are, I mean, you got to ease him into the lineup, because tougher games are coming, dude. I mean, tougher games are coming for Orlando City, and Orlando City needs to get a home field advantage. Right now, you're 5th, and Orlando still has to play against Philly, which they're coming pretty hot, and then you got to face another dragon, which is Cincinnati, which are playing tremendously, and then you close with a derby against Atlanta, because a lot of Orlando City fans treat the game against Atlanta as a derby. In derbies, you have to win, especially if they're at home. You cannot lose, and again, that's more pressure for the players. But if you already, and I think Dallas would be the best opportunity to have somebody like Freeman. Bring in Freeman, don't put him 10 minutes before, but if things are not working, execute, make the change right away. Again, you saw Columbus and how, and John mentioned it, I guess, on the pod too, on the last pod. Columbus has a trust for not only their youth, but also their bench. And so they're able to, if things for their coach are not working out, he makes that sub right away. And then look how well it panned out with Farsi and Armstead, so it's something that I feel Orlando has right now, a player that could do that, and it's not being utilized. So I do agree with a lot of the talk that those players need to play. And now it's not just Freeman. I would like to see, for example, next season, Shaq Muhammad. I would like to see, Yutaro Sukada being a little bit more of like a predominant force coming off the bench for Facu, and I guarantee you, I mean, those players could definitely take on a DC United or a Chicago Fire. You know what I mean? I feel like those kids could definitely do, and if they're gonna do great things with the reserves and MLS Next Pro, hell yeah, use them, use them, give them that opportunity. We got to use our depth. It's there for something. Leaving them to win MLS Next Pro, I guarantee you, if you ask definitely the fan base is going to be happy if Orlando City B wins the MLS Next Pro. But I believe that for the fan base, at least for what I could tell, especially in the beginning of the year where there was like a freaking civil war, like I truly believe that the fans would rather have Orlando be protagonists in the playoffs, using their youth and their depth, and at least not being knocked out in the first round. So, again, of course, if the OCB wins the MLS Next Pro, hell yeah. But those players that are champs, we need to see them more in the first team. That's just my opinion. Now, what are the chances? The best scenario for Orlando to go into the playoffs, it's to win at Dallas. so Orlando has to win at Dallas. Orlando actually depends on themselves. Orlando depends on themselves. They have to win at Dallas. Now they could also draw at Dallas, and then Toronto would lose at Chicago, and DC lose draw, and so then you start drawing all this loop de loops, scenarios. If I'm if I'm the boys, I would say I'll just focus on number one. You gotta win at Dallas, and it's feasible. It is attainable. I think Orlando has the better team. Um, now look at all these scenarios: draw at Dallas, and Toronto lose, draw at Chicago, and DC lose, draw versus Columbus, and then Nashville lose, draw in New England. Like, man, like it's like a chicken salad, man. It's like crazy. Orlando draw at Dallas, and Toronto lose, draw at Chicago, Montreal lose, draw versus San Jose, and Atlanta lose, draw at Philadelphia. Bro, this is insane. And again, I honestly would like to only focus on number one, which is win at Dallas, and I think the team could do it. I am fully invested that the team can definitely win at Dallas. So it's going to be a tough game. It's going to be a tough game. Now, a lot of people were asking me, what are the teams that are going to be participating in the Club World Cup for 2025? I'm going to go ahead and share that right now. So it's interesting. Let me share this right here because these are some of the teams that you could be seeing at Interco Stadium, which is going to be fantastic for the team. So right now there's All 32 places available for the World Cup have now been filled. 30 have been filled. There's still 2 that are in contention. So right now, you could see Al Ali from Egypt, Wydad from Morocco, ES Tunis from Tunisia. You have Mamelodi Sundowns from South Africa, Al Hilal, which is like the Real Madrid of Saudi Arabia, Urawa Red Diamonds from the J League, phenomenal team. I mean, I would love to see Urawa Red Diamonds. Being a J League fan, I would love to see Urawa Red. Al Ain from UAE, Ulsan HD from Korea, Chelsea from England. So the Blues may be coming here. Real Madrid with Vinicius. So Vinicius, maybe, I highly doubt, FIFA. I highly doubt that they're gonna put Real Madrid or Manchester City or Bayern or PSG. Well, although PSG probably not, but at least Bayern, Manchester, and Real Madrid, I doubt they're gonna put them at Interco. Now it would be fantastic, to be honest with you, especially because they're gonna be drawing these. They're gonna be drawing all of these. So Real Madrid, Manchester City, Bayern Munich, PSG, Inter Milan, Porto, right? Benfica, Borussia Dortmund, Juventus, Atletico Madrid, FC Salzburg, Monterrey. Look at that. Seattle Sounders, man. Good for the Sounders, bro. Come on, man. Seattle Sounders, Club León, Pachuca, Auckland City, Palmeiras, and here comes Comebol right here. Palmeiras, Flamengo, Fluminense, all right. River Plate, and Boca Juniors. So Cavani, you never know. Cavani, maybe having El Clásico, it'd be cool. It'd be cool to have the Argentinian Clásico. Highly doubt. I think the Argentinian Clásico, it'd be cool to have it at some point here in the United States. It's a massive game. All over South America tunes into that. Same as a Flamengo, a Fla-Flu, right? Flamengo Fluminense as well. So it's awesome. It's going to be a great opportunity, not only to have more eyes to Orlando. I mean, it'll be great to see all these phenomenal teams, dude. It's going to be great. I can't wait. Now, will Orlando City be here at some point? Yeah, they can. They just got to win the CONCACAF Champions League. Right? Now, is it feasible for Orlando City to win the CONCACAF Champions League? Yes. Do I feel like Orlando has what it takes to win a major championship like that and represent the whole entire MLS? 110%. Why do I think, I'm asking my own questions, why do I think it should be done to the team to get to that level? Clearly, we got the coach. I think Oscar Pareja, even though people throw a lot of hate on him and a lot of shade on the man, I still believe Oscar Pareja is a top 3 MLS coach right now. And in the region, he's probably right there as well, like, in the top 10 of coaches in the region. For CONCACAF, for clubs. I'm talking about clubs. I'm not talking about nations. I'm talking about clubs. And we have a system. We have a youth system, which I believe that we need to, start seeing the Colin Gusks coming in and play, the Justin Ellises, which actually I do want to say Justin Ellis from Orlando City B. I'm hearing a lot of press, because he's I think Uruguayan descent. So he's Uruguayan descent, Justin Ellis from OCB. And there's Uruguayan outlets now, talking about Justin Ellis, and it really surprised me. So, there's a lot of talent that Orlando has, especially in youth. And I feel like if we're going to be that type of team, we got to start right now, and we cannot just wait. Now, I do feel, though, to get to that level, CONCACAF Champions League level, we do need some face recognizable players that are in a good age that we're able to get. Like, for example, Edison Cavani would have been tremendous to have, right? A Leo Campana, which still bench in Inter Miami and comes in when Suarez is injured, but still scoring goals. You know what I mean? So, a Raul Ruiz Diaz, why not, right? But you need to have a captain in each part of the field. So right now we have Galese. He's the actual El Pulpo, right? He's not going anywhere. And then you need a truly vocal person in the back line. You have Cartagena, right? He could lead the defensive mid side. You need a 10, which you got Facu or you got Martin Ojeda, and then you need a ring general up top. And I feel like, for that you need to open up the wallet a little more. Orlando's still a team that doesn't spend their full potential in signings. But again, our model is low cost, high reward. Poaching a player that's maybe on the outs, but because of the coaching staff that we have, we could recover them and have a massive playmaker in our hands, like Pato was at some point, with the U.S. Open Cup run. And I think no one could deny that Pato was a huge part of the U.S. Open Cup run. So that's the type of style that Orlando City does. That's the type of style of signings that they do. But I do believe that Orlando has everything to succeed. The front office, the stadium, the fans. They're a soccer city. Even when I travel, I feel like they're more of a soccer city than a lot of other cities in the MLS. So you can go to a bar and talk about soccer with someone now, and especially in downtown Orlando. So it's great. It's great, the atmosphere and all of that. I just feel like we got to spend a little more. Now, I know for a fact there's going to be some space in our roster and to sign a lot of under 22 players for next year. So we just got to make sure that we're signing the right under 22 players. Players maybe not from smaller teams in South America, but maybe from teams that are well established. And again, I know people are going to kill me when I say this, but I don't know if people will agree or not, but it's fine. It's just my opinion. It's different to sign somebody that came from Boca Juniors, that grew up in that environment, in Boca Juniors, where you're really mentally gung-ho on winning every game and you're trying to make a name for yourself, like El Colo Barco, which now playing in Brighton, right? Than signing somebody from Chacarita Juniors, right? Which you probably are like, who the hell are they? Or Unión de Santa Fe. Or, it's a little different, Yes, the numbers, the money may be cheaper, but, we're talking about, this is a team that's very physical, mentally very draining. And if you bring somebody that is ready to win, it makes it easy. The adaptation, it's easier. And again, I'm not saying that, well, we have it, they're not hungry. I'm just saying they are hungry. It's just that it took a little bit, and that's the reason why. It's just my opinion. Like, for example, right here, we're using not a lot of our supplemental roster, and we're just pretty much using all of our senior roster. Now here, there's a lot of players that have options. Like Santos, for example, his contract is through this year. And Rodrigo, his contract is through also through the end of 2024. And so there's going to be, I'm sure, some spaces that we're going to be seeing. Now, what type of players are going to be coming in? Hopefully these are young players that make an immediate impact, that come from teams that have bred them to win. And Like, for example, I would like to see like Junior Urso, for example. He came from Corinthians. Like Ivan Angulo, he came from Palmeiras. These are teams that are used to that level of pressure, of constant pressure. And again, Heine, Geekling, Bruseth, we still haven't seen yet. I haven't asked the club the real reason why, but I believe it's just maybe more of a technical decision. More than likely, we're probably going to see him against. I think we should see him against Dallas. I think we should see him. I mean, this is I feel the last. And again, this sounds so bad when I'm about, so bad what I'm about to say, but I feel like Dallas is the last team, one of the last teams in the regular season that we can definitely experiment a little bit when it comes to maybe trying players. And maybe Sukata could play 30 minutes instead of 15. Maybe Kochevsky or maybe Bruseth could play 25 instead of 10. Petrasso could say, okay, Santos is not working. Boom, I'm plugging Petrasso, who's killing it, by the way, at OCB too. He's killing it at OCB. Those crosses, man, I think going to Italy has really improved his game. Petrasso playing 35. You know what I mean? I think Dallas allows you that. Now, again, I'm not saying that it's going to be piece of cake, Dallas. No. But you could do that now because the next two games coming up, Philly, Cincinnati, those are teams that you go with your best. You go with your A squad. You go with you those are two teams that you don't experiment. And at home with your fan base, you gotta go win. It's just the way I feel it. And I think that's the way it's gonna go, hopefully. But there's going to be some open spaces happening for coming up next season. Gaston Gonzalez, more than likely, he's, even though people are saying he's coming back, I just like John, I believe he's happier in Uruguay. He just scored a goal too. He's a goal scorer there. He's happy there. So I truly feel like that contract, we could use it for another under 22, but I have full faith that Luis and Ricardo are going to do the utmost to make this team more competitive even next season. So I'm positive. I'm positive. So I know a lot of people disagree, and a lot of people, you cannot become Real Madrid in one day. You know what I mean? You cannot. It takes time, and also you have to see what type of team you are, and what market you're in. It's cool. Like, for example, yeah, it's good to have confidence in yourself, and it's great to be like, the song from Pokemon. You gotta be the very best. It's cool to feel that way. It's great, but it in the operation of playing professional sports is a little different. You have to calculate your budget and your market and how much you're marketed, and all of the situations that gotta pan out. Like right now, for example, the Pride, to give an example, the Pride right now are poised to win Shield, and they're poised to win NWSL Cup, the NWSL Cup. The first, and if Orlando doesn't win the MLS Cup this year, they would be going for the first major championship for the city of Orlando. Aside of, obviously, the U.S. Open Cup, yes, it's a major championship, but it's not the league championship. It's not like winning the NBA. It's not winning the MLS. It's a trophy of a cup that is very prestigious, but it's not. Yes, it's the first major trophy, but it's not the first major league trophy for the City Beautiful. So now the Pride, it's going to have also more room with all the prices that they're going to get to spend and boost the roster that they currently already have. And those are the advantages of winning it. and playing that way. But also, why did the Pride did so good this year too? And one thing that a lot of people don't say, and just brush it up, is because they open up the wallet. They signed Barbara Banda for $2 million, which obviously for women's sports it's a lot of money. And they came and they probably poached the best youth players in the entire country for the last 2 seasons. Summer Yates, Carrie Abello, Emily Sams, So, and then they brought a coach that he was all about playing. It was all about the sport and not so much about the selfies you're taking after the game. And I've been there. I've been with the Pride when they were the worst times. Seb is there to work, to play soccer. Giles Barnes is for the same reason. And it shows. And they're all the same. They're all mentally, they're so strong. Now, but they had to open up the wallet. So it's the same thing here. I feel like a lot of people ask me, what can we do? The players that are not panning out, we're gonna have to come up with decisions, tough decisions, to see what they could be done, and then sign under 22 players. If we're gonna be, which I think we're gonna be using that model, the under 22 model, to bring youth players under 22 that are ready to go from teams that have made them ready to go for major competition. And then maybe we're going to sign one big name here and there, and which we should, in my opinion, too, because that's important too. It's important. It's different than the Neymar comes in with name recognition and fills up half your stadium than having Luis Carlos Pineda as a striker. You know what I mean? It's completely different. So, but I think it's a mixture of the two. But right now, I feel even though a lot of people maybe say, hey, this is not, I want to win. I want to win. It's like, of course, everyone wants to win. Do you think the players go? They go to the game and said, "Hey, by the way, guys, today I'm going to lose today. I'm going to go lose. Bye-bye, Toodles." They're not going to go there. They're going to go, and every single player wants to win. It's just that there are teams that are better, like Columbus, and we also turn over the ball like crazy, and that's another thing. We lose possession so much in the mid, it's unbelievable. Like, I think, a lot of our players average more than two they lose possession more than 2 or 3 times. It doesn't matter if it's a mid, and then it doesn't matter if it's a striker, if it's a winger, if it's a left back or a right back, they all lose possession. And it's the data is right there. I'm not going to go into it, but if you're losing possession too much, and you have a team that's has the players that are gonna punish you, that happens. So room for improvement, yes. Now Dallas, attainable, 110% attainable. It's a team that definitely we can win. I give my full faith support on the team to get the result. My score says here, score prediction, says Stream Jesus. Well, I'm gonna say it. To me, is gonna be a 2-0 Orlando win. 2-0 Orlando win. Another shout out for the Lions, hopefully. A shout out for Galese. It's gonna be weird. I think this one of the goals is gonna be a set piece. And then the other goal is going to be scored by Duncan McGuire. So I think the one of the goals is going to be scored by either Facu or from a set piece or Martin Ojeda too. It could be, yeah. I'll go from Martin. I go from Martin and Duncan. Martin Ojeda and Duncan. 2-0 Orlando. And then prepare for 2 tough games. Philly and Cincinnati. Tomorrow after Orlando City is Alianza Lima, guys. Don't forget this guy. Yeah. Let's pray for 2 dubs tomorrow. There you go. Thank you, Stream Jesus. Appreciate it. Yeah. Yeah, I have to cover that game too. It's crazy. And also the Pride's tomorrow too. So I mean, and again, let me talk. I know that I'm about to close too, but I want to bother. I want to take the time to talk about a little bit about the Orlando Pride, because I want to encourage everyone that has yearned and complained about exciting soccer in the beginning of the season, saying that we had the worst team in the MLS, that we were cacapoopoo, that we're crying desperately, saying, "Hey, we're not gonna make it. We're gonna be dead last. We're not gonna make the playoffs." Wah wah wah. Put your money where your mouth is. Come see the Orlando Pride. Quarterfinals, November 8th to the 10th. Playoff tickets are not on sale, as you can see right here. Be part of Orlando soccer history, I'm going to say. Tickets for our first ever home playoff match are on sale now. Yes. And if you've not seen the Pride yet, you should. You should. Our offense and our defense. Look, top 5 goals scored from the NWSL. Look, Orlando Pride, 37 in the league. Top 3 in the league. Top goals against. Well, that's not so good. actually, no. It's actually very good. Only 12 goals. Look at that. Top 5 defenses. We're the best defense in the league. So, guys, come see the Pride. Tickets are very cheap. And it's a phenomenal experience. And if you love soccer and if you love Orlando, you're gonna go support the Pride, for sure. Now, I wanna before I close, I wanna encourage everyone. I wanna thank Ryan Matthew, Gator Bear Tigerzilla on Instagram, Mexi Ricken 321, Badis Kazar, El Presidente. Also, thank you so much for everyone that is watching on Instagram. We are also want to thank everyone that's on Twitter, on X, sorry, about 35 people. Thank you so much. Tomorrow, Orlando City, tough game against Dallas, but this is possible. The W, they have everything to win it tomorrow. And so this is hopefully not a loss, and hopefully is going to foreshadow what could happen in the playoffs, because either way Orlando is going to be facing one of the top teams there, either Cincinnati, Columbus, Inter. So this is something that the boys need to already. There's no more gelling, there's no more getting used to tactics. This is all or nothing. So I feel like tomorrow is going to be a very good game as well. The Pride play tomorrow as well, so I'll be covering 3 games at the same time. So imagine that. So thank you guys for watching me. About 50 people, yeah, about 40 people live. Thank you so much. Again, I wanted to encourage you to follow us on our social media. We are available on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, X as LPO_podcast, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. And I wanted to thank you all for your support. And as always, vamos Orlando. Thank you guys. Have a wonderful day.